It was the first time the Russians reported me dead because they saw a man-pads missile hit my aircraft and started bombarding us with 40mm grenades. The Apache for us is like Star Wars. Of course, I would like to fly one.
Name: Yevhen Solovyov, 33 years old. Profession: helicopter pilot. Peacekeeping operations in Congo and Siberia. Hundreds of combat sorties in the war against Russia, including Azovstal and Snake Island. Helicopter piloting is a hazardous job, so the equipment is designed to provide maximum protection for the pilot.
The helicopter carries 2 to 3 tons of fuel, which can ignite instantly in the event of an accident. That's why my gear starts with an American Army aviation pilot's jumpsuit, known for its fire resistance. The underwear, socks, footwear, balaclava, and shirt are also flame-resistant, ensuring comprehensive protection. Additional personal protective equipment includes a bulletproof vest and a first aid kit. As for personal weapons, I carry a Makarov pistol and a shortened Kalashnikov. The helmet, the American HGU-56/P, is also a crucial part of the equipment and arguably the best helicopter helmet. It provides both ballistic protection and safeguards against head impacts. The helmet features attachments for night vision goggles and a visor that protects against debris.
Performing nearly impossible operations is also a specialization of helicopters. In 2022, Ukrainians held the Azovstal plant in Mariupol while it was completely surrounded for several months. To aid its garrison, the armed forces organized helicopter breakthroughs, carrying supplies and support troops.
We approached from the sea. It was early in the morning. We used night vision goggles. The entire city was in smoke. When I landed, I saw the guys greeting us. There was something in their eyes. I don't know. They were just very happy to receive support. In the entire world history, there were no such airborne operations to fly over 100 kilometers deep into enemy territory. And not just once, but 6 times.
Supplies were unloaded at Azovstal in a matter of minutes, while wounded personnel were taken on board.
On the way back, I felt a hit on the left side and saw tracer bullets near me. One engine shut down. I contacted the pilot flying behind me, but he didn't respond. Later, I learned that 1 or 2 missiles hit him, and he exploded in the air. After that, I maneuvered and simply tried not to crash. Out of 4 helicopters, 3 returned. That was the first time the Russians reported me dead because they saw a man-pads missile hit my aircraft. However, the range was so short that the missile didn't have enough impulse to detonate. So we just pierced the engine and the hull. The Russians knew that helicopters don't fly with such damage, especially not a 100 kilometers distance. But something went wrong.
The second time Russians reported that Yevhen had died was just a few weeks later. He was participating in the liberation of Snake Island.
The Russian infantry saw that helicopters had arrived and started bombarding us with 40mm grenades. At that moment, I felt like I was at a rock concert, where everything inside vibrated from powerful bass. During this operation, there were about 7 enemy fighters in the airspace over the island. As a result, 1 out of our 9 helicopters was indeed shot down, but all others completed the mission and returned.
According to Yevhen, such incidents are much more challenging than any other task.
The most terrifying moments for me are when I come back from a mission knowing that not everyone has returned. You enter a room, and there are the belongings of someone you realize won't be taken them. These moments are the hardest.
The thing is, the use of helicopters has its own specifics. By the book, they're used under a clear air superiority, given that the enemy's air defense is neutralized. However, in Ukraine, these rules don't apply.
In our situation, achieving air superiority and destroying enemy air defenses is impossible. However, we're simply forced to use all the weapons we have. Therefore, even in conditions that are not suitable for helicopter use, we continue to use them. During the hybrid war with Russia before 2022, if you were shot at with a man-pads and a missile flew somewhere near you, it was something impossible. Then everyone was asking the pilot a million questions, writing books about him. Now almost every flight, they launch missiles at us. There are areas where you know, there they will definitely shoot. And you do everything just so that this missile doesn't hit you. Then you land. And they routinely ask you, did they shoot? Well, yes, they did. Okay, good.
Due to the intensity of combat, a pilot in Ukraine is essentially working around the clock.
The cost per flight hour for the Mi-8 is approximately $3,000. As for a trained crew commander, it's around $3 million and requires a considerable amount of time. Skills, knowledge, and experience are acquired over a long, expensive, and challenging process. In fact, the cost of the equipment and the people who operate it is comparable.
Due to such workload, pilots are considered the elite of the military.
My main type is the Mi-8 or Mi-17 as the export variant. It was developed back in 1961 and was an excellent helicopter at that time. Multifunctional, capable of performing tasks such as troop transport, cargo transport, and fire support. When it comes to troop and cargo transport, this helicopter is one of the best. Regarding firepower, it met the requirements in the 60s, but a lot of time has passed and warfare has evolved, so something more modern is needed now.
The need for modern weaponry in this type of military force is particularly evident.
As of today, the main weapon for our helicopters is unguided aviation rockets. They're designed to be used in conditions of direct visibility.
Helicopters were once called tank killers. However, in Ukraine, it's not entirely the case.
We don't have any aviation anti-tank missiles. If we were given Hellfire 2 or the Israeli Spike with a range of 25 kilometers, we could fire them even from the old Mi-2. The Apache for us is like Star Wars. Of course, I would like to fly one. The Apache is the best helicopter in the world. For an attack helicopter, the main things are the weaponry and equipment that allows detecting the target. On an Mi-8, you have to see the target with your own eyes. The Apache's weapon system allows for early target detection, even before you see it. You can identify the type of vehicle, know its location, and use weapons from a distance. Our helicopters cannot do that.
Russians have an analog of the Apache called the Ka-52, which is referred to as the flying tank. However, the actual combat has revealed several drawbacks to it. The resistance from Ukrainians has led to the most modern Russian helicopter conducting nose-up attacks from a distance, increasing the range of fire.
So a helicopter that costs as much as 5 Mi-8s was forced to be used in a manner similar to the Mi-8.
When it comes to the flying tank, the Russians weren't lying. The Ka-52 has been shot down several times with portable anti-tank systems, which are not supposed to work against airborne targets. In total, during the full-scale war, Ukrainians have destroyed over 320 enemy helicopters.
Ukrainian warriors daily risk their lives for the sake of their homeland, the future of their children, and for their values. However, Russia is an authoritarian state, and we do not want to live like them. We share the values of the civilized world. Taking risks when you feel supported by this world makes it much easier. So if you want to share in the victory of these values over authoritarianism, welcome to Ukraine.